What's up guys, it's Samuel, and in this video I'll be speaking to you about creativity. I have recently been really contemplating the whole idea of creativity, the concept of creativity, and really I've been trying to understand it on a deeper level because I know that I'll be using my creative force, the force that's within me, I'll be using that a lot throughout my life because that's what I want to base my work on. I want to have work that is creative, right? However that comes, that's what I want to do. So I've recognized that it's important to understand what creativity is so that I can do it the best I can. So that's why I've been really contemplating this a lot, and I've also been doing a lot of research on creativity itself. I've been reading some books on creativity, and so now I feel like I want to share some of the insights and knowledge that I have gathered up on this subject. So enough of me rambling, let's get right into the video. So what is creativity? Well, fundamentally, the way I see it, creativity is about conjuring up in your mind an idea, something new, something innovative, something original that you personally realized in your direct experience. But how do you actually do that? How do you actually realize it? How do you, in the first place, how do you even find in your direct experience something new, something original? How do you come about that? That seems already, like a difficult thing to do. And, well, it is. But there are definitely ways how you can increase the chances of you finding a creative idea in your direct experience, finding something original, finding something innovative in your direct experience. One way of doing this is by finding connections between information that you have accumulated. So you carefully observe all of the information that you have, all of the knowledge that you have acquired, and you begin to look at them with a different lens, from a different perspective, and really trying to see how you could possibly merge two ideas or two concepts together and create something that has not been seen before in existence. Now, this is easier said than done, but there are definitely some pointers that I can give you that will increase the chances of you doing this successfully. Number one, creating a list of ideas and knowledge that you have accumulated and that you are familiar with, and then really just writing that list down on a piece of paper, and then just looking at the list and seeing how could I merge some of these ideas together. For example, if you study something like, music, and then you've also studied something like karate or dancing or chemistry. See how you could actually combine these things together and create something fucking cool, something new, something that's fucking original. The second pointer is by not getting too stuck in your head, not comparing your work too much to other people's work, because this is very easy to do when we're just trying to create something. We're like, oh man, I want to make a movie, but holy shit, like there's a bunch of these filmmakers, these big Hollywood filmmakers. Look at the fucking movies they're making, and now you're looking at your own and you're like, oh, this fucking sucks. This is a big fucking this is a big issue, because that's gonna rob your creative juice. Because when you're feeling inferior, you're gonna feel out of the flow. You're not gonna feel like you're in that flow state, that zone where you're just pushing out gold. That's not gonna be possible because you have this complexity issue in your head. So that's something to really keep an eye out on. The third point is by staying utterly open-minded. Really being open-minded to the fact that you might come about a new idea that is like, it might seem absurd at first. It might seem completely absurd. Because you know what? Most of the ideas, most of the innovative, original ideas that you're going to come up with are going to seem completely fucking ludicrous. They're going to seem fucking crazy. Because basically they haven't been made before. And so obviously it's going to seem a little bit weird. Because it's not in existence yet. So if you tell someone about it, they might not react very positively to it. Why? Because they've never seen it in reality before. The fourth pointer is to always empty your cup before creativity. When you leave the cup empty, right? That's when you can allow ideas to go in there, right? If you go into creativity, into your creative work with a cup that's already full, with a mind that's already full of random fucking ideas and concepts, and worries about the day, then you're not gonna get anything new. You're not gonna have those creative insights. You're not gonna be able to be in that state of flow, right? But when you empty all that crap, all that trash from your mind, and you leave it completely empty in the present now, then what happens is that you allow your mind to receive, right? And if you've ever emptied your mind, you notice that as soon as your mind is empty, you see the world in a different way. And you look at an object in space, and you see the object really like on another level. It's really amazing, and this is a state that like amazing creativity can come from this. And if you've ever been, and I'm sure you have, maybe you've been working on some project and you've got into the state where it's just like, oh, it's so fucking good, it feels so good, you're in the fucking now, you're in the moment, and it's just so effortless. This is what I mean. This is the state where your mind is completely empty. It's mesmerized by the now, and it's very effortless. And that's ultimately what we want to aim for with our creativity and with our our sessions where we're working on our projects. We want to be in that state as much as possible. And that's a vision for all of us to where we want to be in the future. That's how we want to be creating, right? So yes, empty your cup. Basically empty your mind. Now, another way of raising your creativity is by recognizing an unmet need in reality, right? Something that people are struggling with, something that people would like to see in reality, and something that you would like to see in reality. Maybe you're going about life and you're like wishing that something was there. You're wishing that you found this specific type of podcast, or this specific type of song, or this specific type of product or service. If you have these kind of thoughts, then look at that. Really think about what if I were to create that? What if I were to make that? Imagine how fucking awesome that would be. And you can be that guy. You can be that guy who created that thing that people really fucking wanted. The trick here is what hasn't been created. You don't know what hasn't been created, right? You don't know because it's not visible. It's not here, right? It's still unknown, right? And so you have to really recognize that before you're able to create it. And that can be hard. But really the process itself is quite simple. What you do to get this kind of understanding, to get this kind of insight into an unmet need in reality, is by sitting down and just forcing yourself to wonder, what need has not been met yet? What would I like to see here in reality? And just ponder that or those questions. And over time, it might not come with the first session of contemplation, it might not come with the second, but over time, as you're thinking about these kind of questions in the bus, as you're going to work, as you're at the supermarket, as you're thinking about these kind of questions, it will at some point just arise. These insights will just arise, and then when they do, you write them down. Okay? This is something that I keep falling, this is a trap that I keep falling into, is I have all kinds of insights throughout the day nowadays when it comes to creativity and new ideas for all kinds of things. But often I forget to write them down. And when this happens, you basically lose the whole idea, because basically your mind will forget about it. You'll forget about it quickly, you'll move on, you'll get distracted by something else, and you'll completely forget that idea that could have been something really big, right? So write it down. And a little pointer I like to give myself, a little advice I like to give myself, is you have 10 seconds to write that shit down. If you don't do it in 10 seconds, you're quickly gonna forget it. So you have 10 seconds. As soon as you have an insight, write it down. And ultimately, you have to look at where you source your motivation to create from, okay? You can be creating from a sense of lack, which can be a terrible hindrance to your work, and something that I have fallen into quite a lot, where I create for the sake of, some kind of approval in the external world, or some kind of like reward, instead of creating really for the sake of creating. That in and of itself is already a good enough reason to create, for the sake of creating, for the sake of the joy that it will bring. And ultimately, you want to source it from within, and for the betterment of humanity itself, right? And when you do this, there's no better joy of creating than when you're creating from this source. This is what will give you the most fulfillment out of all the work you will do. It's really amazing. I'm just getting started here. Like, I'm just putting out random YouTube videos here and there. I might be writing like into my personal notebooks, and just from that, when I'm creating out of this authentic desire to help the world, to better humanity, to increase humanity's consciousness, just that, it gives me so much joy. And I am barely getting started, so I can see, like, I can vision myself already like creating these big things in the future, like really big life transforming things. That's just, it's gonna be amazing. Like, I'm so excited. I'm just so excited, because I know that this is the shit that makes you happy. This is what makes you happy. Just seeing humanity evolve with you. It's absolutely incredible and empowering. So the video seemed to cut out at the very end there, but what I still wanted to say was, hopefully you got something out of this video. Hopefully you got some kind of inspiration, motivation to create more. And all this knowledge, basically, most of it came from my contemplations yesterday. I actually spent the entire day doing nothing but writing and meditating. And one of the big themes that I had yesterday was I was contemplating what creativity is. I really wanted to get to the bottom of that. And yeah, so I spent quite a large amount of time, Just really driving that into me. What is creativity? What is creativity? And really going deep with that, as deep as I've ever gone. And so these insights I just shared are basically the insights I had yesterday, along with, of course, mixing all of those, my personal insights with insights from other people, like different books that I've read on creativity, such as The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield and The Way of the Superior Man by David Data, that has to do with creativity and work, and Mastery by Robert Greene, that also has some creativity talked about in it. And all this stuff, all this knowledge in me, plus my personal contemplations, this is what I've got, and hopefully you got something out of it. It means the world to me if you anything, like if you got a bit of motivation out of that, that's fucking awesome. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.